Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about another pattern that's like this. It's a beautiful pattern and it's very simple compared to the other patterns that I've done videos on. If you see my playlist, I'll be glad. And so there are basically three checkpoints over here. The first checkpoint, basically, if you see my other videos, I basically divide the whole pattern and make it into simpler components that would to help it to construct. Okay, so there are three parts in this particular pattern. First part is the stars before the numbers. Okay, the second part is the star and the number that you'll see in every line. Okay, the star and the number, star and the number. There's a repetitive pattern over here, and later is the number after this star and number conjunction. Okay, so let's start. Let's go and check out what the pattern is all about. So there we go. Just a moment. Yes, and there we go. First, I'll enter the number of lines. So int input enter the number of lines. Then I'll use a constant known as the stars for printing the stars before and after the star and the number conjunction. Okay. Then I'll go to c is equal to 1. What is c? You'll get to know a bit later as soon as I start writing the code. For I in range, okay, from 1 to stars plus 1. This is basically the statement of the number of lines. Okay, so n stars, n plus 1 or stars plus 1, basically the same thing. Then I'll go to each line. So for each line, what I'll do is, here you see the number of stars that is equal to n. In this line, in this pattern, there are 9 stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 stars. So what I'll do is, just a moment. Just a moment. There are 9 stars. So in the next line, I'll write a loop for j in range 1 to stars plus 1 again, because it's basically the same number of lines, and the number of stars in the beginning of each line is basically same. So I'll write the code over here. End is equal to this. Next, what I'll do is I'll write this pattern, this portion, which is a number followed by a star. Here there are two such pieces. Here there are three such pieces. So the C is basically for the numbers. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll use a variable k in range, and I'll go from 1 to c plus 1 because in each conjunction I want the loop to run from 1 to c. Then what I'll do is I'll write the conjunction as c end equal to empty goes, and then print star. I can copy this from the previous line. Print star, and I'll write it over here. Okay, now after the conjunction, I need to increase the C, because in each line the C will increase. C is equal to 1. Then I'll write the numbers of stars that is coming after the C. Okay, after the conjunction, you see the main thing that lies over here is that the stars decrease like this. So what I'll do is I'll write a loop that will go from 1 to stars, because I want to run the loop for the less number of times I have run the loop in the previous section. Okay, so for L in range, I'll go from 1 to stars. So this method of further division helps to construct the program pretty well. And so I use that method. End is equal to empty course. Now I'll decrease the stars, so minus equal to 1. Then I'll write a print statement that will go to the next line. So let us understand how we did the program. So first section, what we did was we counted the number of stars, which was equal to n. Then we made use of the concept of a star and a number conjunction. Okay, star and a number conjunction that was present in each line. Actually, this is not included here. A star followed by a number, a star followed by a number. Okay, then we noted the point that the stars in the beginning were one less than the stars in the ending. One more than the stars in the ending. So what we did was we made use of that concept. Sorry. We made use of that concept and we printed the stars in the end. That was a decreasing pattern. Actually, that was a descending pattern. So there was nothing in the program, but it kind of looked a bit complicated. Okay, so we'll run the program and see whether our output was correct or wrong. So I'll enter the number of lines is equal to 9. Okay, and if you can't see, I'll copy it and write it elsewhere over here. You see, we got the exact same pattern that we were demanding. Exact same pattern that we were demanding. We can also use for 2-digit numbers, but what will happen? Okay, we'll see in a moment what will happen. See, since 2-digit numbers, one digit is occupied by a star in the above and one digit is occupied by another star in the previous line. So the symmetry will be distorted, but as far as every single digit is concerned, we'll get an absolute correct answer. Okay, so I'll use another number. I'll use 8 for the purpose. And you see, you get the exact same thing that we were demanding. Okay, it's absolute there's no distortion of symmetry, and we got absolutely what we wanted. So this was all about that program. It's pretty interesting, pretty beautiful. And so see you in the next video.